Glad to have you on the show, and let's just get started right here. So I have to ask you, when you get on campus first time, you see the facilities, especially the soccer stadium, what did you think?
Well, I think that's probably the biggest part of the excitement here next to the players is that, one, it's an incredible environment for us to be in. The facilities here are they're second to none at most any mid-majors. And in fact, our facilities were ranked in the top probably 5 or 6, so it's awesome.
And
to say the least.
How's the fan support been?
Fan support's been great. We've got 2 home games under our belts already. We're obviously looking for several more home games, and I think that it's just continued to grow with each game, the support that we've gotten from the local community, the students, and then, of course, the AK Rowdies have been super.
And earlier when we talked, you were mentioning about the soccer attendance that you wanted to break.
Yeah, on the 28th of this month against Northern Illinois, it's our MAC home opener. We're looking at breaking the MAC women's soccer attendance record, which stands at, I believe it's 2,539, held by Toledo right now. So we're shooting for 2,600 that night, and if we can get as many people out, bring a friend, and all of a sudden we've doubled the attendance with you coming. So,
gotcha. Okay, Coach, I know a lot of players, myself, I'm probably guessing a lot of kids on campus are on Twitter. Are you on Twitter, Coach?
Yes, I am on Twitter, at Zips Coach Croft, so you can follow me there.
Okay, and are you one of those those obsessive tweeters, or are you kind of the tweeter that's here or there?
I'm maybe a tweener between those.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm hardcore, but at the same time, it just doesn't sit there and doesn't get used. So I will tweet about training sessions. Certainly when we're on the road, a little bit more tweets than when we're at home. Helps me pass the time.
Gotcha. So, Coach, you're hired in February, like I said, and a few months later, Coach Fau, he takes a job down in Houston. What was that like for you, and what was that like for the team?
I think initially there was certainly some shock at that situation, because part of the reason I came to Akron was because of Chris. He and I have known each other for quite some time and become very, very good friends. But there was a very short window there that there was uncertainty for myself, the rest of the staff, and certainly the players. I think that Tom and Mary Lou did a fantastic job of moving the process along very, very quickly. I think it was maybe about a week before they announced me as the interim head coach. So,
now this team this season's off to a great start, probably one of the best starts since 2008, where they started 5-1. What do you credit the team's success to?
The team's success is credited to themselves. There was certainly some changes that we made. When Chris left and I took over. Initially, it was some subtle changes, but then I think once we got going with preseason and going into the season, there were some pretty significant changes that the players had to adjust to. And I credit our success to how well they've adjusted to that. And I think the amount of work that they've put into it is also something that can't go unnoticed.
And this past weekend, you guys won a pair of games. Talk a little bit about the overall play. How happy were you about the overall play?
I was very pleased with the overall play. We've won 4 games, and I think each of the 4 games we've won, we've had to do it in different ways. Sunday we had to grind one out and get out of there 1-0 with, I think it was about 4 minutes left in the game. And Friday we had to play against probably one of the more physical teams we played against in Cleveland State, and we're still able to get out of that one at 2-0 and injury-free. So I'm very pleased with how the players and the team are adapting to the different styles that the opponents are showing us.
And Coach, I know this is jumping ahead of time, but MAC play is going to be opening up soon. Any outlook on the MAC? Who's going to be that team to beat, and who's going to be that surprise team?
I think with the MAC, you can always count on Toledo, Central Michigan, and Western Michigan as being the top 3 schools. I've not seen the MAC in probably 4 or 5 years now, so I can't say one way or the other who's going to be a surprise. I can certainly say, just based on history, that those 3 teams are going to be towards the top. But I also think that's the exciting part about our situation right now, is that it's going to be new for our entire coaching staff as we go into the MAC play. So we don't have any preconceived notions about anybody, and what's happened in the past. It's all about this team, this year, and this MAC season.
Okay. And the date of that game again for the attendance?
Northern Illinois on the 28th of this month, of September. 2,600 is the goal we're looking at.
Okay, sounds good. Well, that's it for the Coach's Corner here. I'm Chris Coon, alongside head coach of the women's soccer team, Vernon Croft. Now back to Anna for the freeze frame of the game.